Hey guys, it's Grim. I figured I'd go ahead and try and film this review tonight, even if I don't upload it immediately. It's very likely I won't upload this until like Friday, but I'm gonna go ahead and film this now on Wednesday because otherwise I might forget. I have a very busy week ahead of me. So, let's talk about Willy's Wonderland. Um, Quick synopsis: Nicolas Cage plays a silent stranger who is driving through, was it Nevada? Nevada. Um, when he runs over a tire strip, and because he doesn't have any cash on him to fix his car, he ends up taking an overnight position as a janitor at a defunct Chuck E. Cheese esque restaurant slash children's uh, arcade known as Willy's Wonderland. And in a very much Five Nights at Freddy's kind of thing, the animatronics start to come alive. Come alive and try to kill him. And he has to deal with that. So, I'm not going to go into spoilers at this part. I will put a thing spoilers. Um, but I will say that the movie is a load of fun. It's absolutely hilarious. I loved it. It was great. Um, Definitely gory, but fun gory. Not like I think it's fun. Some people might not, but I think it's fun. So anyway, so the so the movie was directed by Kevin Lewis. I have notes. Um, Screenplay is by G.O. Parsons. Um, Cast includes Nicolas Cage, Emily Tosta, Rick Reitz, Chris Warner, Kai Kadlick, Christian Del Grosso, Kaylee Cowan, Tier Tara Lee Hill, Jonathan Mercedes, David Sheffield, and Beth Grant. I mispronounced a lot of those. I'm so sorry. Um, it's set in the town of Hayesville, Nevada. This is Nicolas Cage's ninth horror role. Although when I read all the others that are considered horror movies, some of them are kind of lame. I wouldn't consider some of them to be horror movies. But it is his third in just the last few years because I know it was 2018 he did Mandy, and 2019 he did The Color from Space or something, or maybe that was 2020. And this one I think just came out very beginning of this year, 2021. So the executive producer is Tamora Brickmo and Mark Damon. So let's see. It does have a list. I did write down the other Nicolas Cage horror films. 1988's Vampire Kiss, the 2006 remake of The Wicker Man, which my husband loves. It's actually really, it's not great, but it's fun. Um, 2011's Season of the Witch, which I feel like that was more of an action film. 2011's Drive Angry, 2015's Pay the Ghost, 2017's Mom and Dad, Mandy in 2018, and The Color Out of Space in 2019. Ha, I got those right. So, the animatronic mascots in this are Willy Weasel, Artie Alligator, Cammy Chameleon, Ozzy Ostrich, Tito Turtle, Nighty Night, Gus Gorilla, and Siren Sarah. And he has to go up against all of those throughout the course of the night. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts on the movie, and then I'll move into spoiler territory. I thought the movie was a lot of fun. I thought it was a great time. I felt like it could have focused more on just the janitor and the animatronics. They add in, of course, some teenage characters. And honestly, I felt like they added nothing to the plot but a body count. And I didn't feel like it needed that. I really didn't. Don't get me wrong, some of it was kind of interesting, but honestly, I think just having the janitor versus the animatronics was more than enough. Um, there's this whole, like, they do explain why the animatronics come to life, and that, like, the guy who originally opened the place was like a serial killer, and all of his employees were also serial killers, and they were also like Satanists, which, not a terrible backstory, although I do wish they'd stop giving Satanists a bad name. Because I don't think Satanists or the Church of, I think Satanists and the Church of Satan are different things, and I don't think either of them are particularly into ritual sacrifice. I could be wrong. It's not my circus, not my monkeys. I generally leave that alone. Um, but yeah, no, the movie's fantastic. Even like they have like these cheesy songs that were very obviously written for like this amusement venue, this kids venue, the way that Chuck E. Cheese has their own songs. And honestly, as lame as some of them are, they're not bad. I don't hate them. There's this weird plot line. Not really a plot line. There's like this weird thing in the movie where the janitor discovers an old pinball machine in the break room and spends like his break time cleaning it up just so he can play pinball, which I thought was a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, I definitely would recommend the movie. 10/10, fantastic film, lots of fun. So, with that said, we're gonna get into spoilers because there's not really a lot I can say about this movie without getting into spoilers. So, I'm gonna get rid of the notification that's at the top of my phone and give you guys a second to like fast forward to the end or click back to whatever. Um, so, spoiler alert. And all right, that should be enough time. If you are still here, you either have already seen it and just don't care about spoilers, or you don't care about spoilers in the beginning, or whatever. Um, so I think the part of the movie that I find the most amusing is the fact that the janitor has like on his watch he set an alarm to go off every so often so that he takes breaks. Like he literally is like, okay, I'm gonna clean from here to here, and then take a break from here to here, and then clean from. Like he sets this up, and if he is on break, he will not fight the animatronics. And this works because of these stupid teenagers. So the animatronics are focusing on the teenagers, and he's just like, peace out, bro. I'm gonna go continue cleaning up my pinball machine or rock out playing it, which I think is hilarious. The teenagers. They are the most useless, do nothing body count characters ever. There's only one of them that actually like has a persistent role in the story, and it's the girl who you find out like survived. Like her and her parents stayed the night at Willy's Wonderland, and her parents were both murdered, but she survived, and the sheriff took her in, and now the sheriff's like, "You're my kid, and I love you," and she's just like, "You are fucking crazy, lady. Like, what the heck?" And she's always trying to like burn down Willy's Wonderland, which actually is where we start the movie. Is she's trying to burn down Willy's Wonderland, and the sheriff catches her and like locks her in the trailer, and it's this whole big deal. But you find out in the course of the movie that when the police went to arrest the original owner and the employees for murder, because they'd been murdering families, they had committed this satanic ritual and killed themselves in like a ritual suicide in the fun room, I think is what it was called. And that's how they ended up possessing the animatronics. Which leads to this really annoying scene later on, like right after you found this out, I think, where one of the teenagers is like hiding, and he would have probably been okay. Like, he probably could have survived. But one of the animatronics starts telling him this sob story about how I'm not like everyone else. They make fun of me because I look like this. And he's just like, he falls for it. And I'm like, you idiot. Like, he deserved to die this entire movie because he's so obsessed with the main girl that he's just an idiot. But, like, that's another level of stupidity. There's teenage boy trying to get laid stupidity, and then there's just you literally have kill me tattooed on your forehead. Um, I do think it's interesting that like the townspeople are all like their very first inclination when people start dying is not to like you would imagine that it would be like an old school fairy tale like witch hunt kind of thing, like, oh, these people are dying because of these friggin' possessed animatronics. Let's burn it down! Like, that's what I would imagine. But no, their idea is like, hey, you don't kill our people, and we will make sure that every week, every month or so, it doesn't even tell you how often they do this. Um, we will make sure that you have plenty of missable tourists to murder. And it's like, okay, because that's not weird at all. Because none of these people have family outside. Like, it kind of works for the janitor because he doesn't talk. Like, at no point in the film does he say a single word. He's, which works really well. Like, Nicolas Cage deserves an award for this film because despite the fact that he doesn't say a single line of dialogue, he does some quality acting in this. Like, just the facial expressions, the amount of acting he does with just his face in this movie is absolutely impressive. But, like, I can understand why they'd be like, okay, this dude in this fancy car and a shitload, like, the dude has, like, a massive flat of energy drinks in the back of his car, who never talks, probably not gonna be missed. But like the one girl's parents, her and her parents are traveling across. Like there's nobody. You really like I call bullshit. I call bullshit. But it is very satisfying to watch the movie, especially because the three townspeople most involved in this scheme do end up dying, um, and all of the animatronics. But honestly, I felt like a lot of the extra body count was were kind of unnecessary because before the teenagers ever get there, we see the animatronic attack the janitor, and the janitor like fights back, and there's this whole thing. And I honestly would have been okay with that just being the movie. Is you know, I did think it was funny though when like they opened the door after at the end of the night, they're fully expecting that he's dead and there's blood and guts and carnage everywhere or whatever. And instead, the place is like spotlessly clean. There are no animatronics. Um, and it is just completely clean. And Nick, the janitor's just standing there like, can I have my car back? He never says anything, but he's just kind of standing there like, I want my car. I want to leave. Screw y'all. And of course they do. They give him back his car. He takes the girl with him, which I'm not entirely sure why they did that, but like I guess they just liked the idea of like she's been fighting her whole life trying to destroy this thing. Now it's gone and she can finally move on with her life. Um, a friend and I though we were we'd watch the movie together and we were just joking about wouldn't it be hilarious if this dude is just like former special services just traveling across the country trying to like undo trauma or something, and he just keeps running into like weird supernatural stuff like this and kicking its butt and being annoyed that this is his Tuesday, because that would be funny. um the only other thing I can really think of is there is a scene where they play Freebird, um, by Leonard Skinner. And controversial opinion, I personally think Freebird is trash. I hate that song. It is 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 39 seconds of absolute melodramatic, awful sounding, caterwauling trash before you get to the roughly 4 minute and 15 second guitar solo. And I will fully sit through that 4 minutes and 39 seconds of crap to get to that guitar solo. That guitar solo is awesome. But I hate that song. I personally hate Freebird. I don't know if it's just because I have heard way too many drunk and tone deaf rednecks sing it, or if it's just genuinely a song I despise in and of itself and would have always hated. But I hate that song. And I think the only appropriate usage of it ever in its entire existence is the church scene in Kingsman. Because that's just beautiful. But you literally only hear like 2 seconds of the melodramatic stuff, and then it goes straight into the guitar solo. So, you know. I love the imagery of this movie. It's got a really... It has really bright colors. Like, some of it, like, even though it, like, oftentimes, like, looks old and dingy, it kind of has this very... It's still kind of very bright and colorful in an odd way. I like the design of some of the animatronics. I feel like they maybe had more animatronics than they necessarily needed. I do think that I do like some of them more than others. I didn't really care for the siren, um, who really just looks like a friggin' knockoff Tinkerbell kind of thing. Like, it looks like a pixie. Um, I liked the turtle, Tito the turtle. He does actually speak Spanish. Um, the alligator was kind of cool. I didn't care much for the knight, but all the others were pretty cool. I think it was the humanoid one. Well, no, I didn't like the chameleon one either. That was a really weird looking chameleon. Um, but I did think it was interesting. So the chameleon actually like has like the long tongue and just like shoots it out and like drags people by it. That was kind of cool. Um, and the siren is like super fast, like, basically like teleporting almost fast. Um, Honestly, the teenager death. The thing that gets me the most, I think, about the teenagers is that they literally just exist to sound stupid, do stupid things, and then die very anticlimactic deaths. Like, they're gonna die. And you know they're gonna die. And there's no, like, build up to it. There's no, like, they just, especially, like, the one guy, like, I think he faces off with the siren and the turtle. But, like, he goes into this room with this flashing strobe light, and you just see him, like, frantically looking around, and 1 minute there's no animatronics in the room with him, and then the next moment there's one behind him, and then he's dead. And that's really it. Like, none of them have good deaths. Meanwhile, every time the janitor faces off with one of these things, there's like this huge battle scene, and then like you think he's going to go down, and then the animatronic manages to like do something that like really ticks him off. Like the first one, I think it was that's what they have a giraffe, I think. Ozzy Ostrich is like the first one that goes after him. And he beats the thing to death with a friggin' broom handle. And like there's this definite like feeling like the animatronic attacks and he's mostly just annoyed. And he gets his butt kicked, and at some point they piss him off and he just goes like murder mode and just like kicks the shit out of the animatronic. And that is incredibly satisfying. Like, it's incredibly satisfying that he is absolutely about to die, about to get his butt kicked, and then in, like, it's basically, it's like the Rocky thing. He's on the ropes, and then all of a sudden, wham, done. And then he just very casually, like, bags them up in these massive industrial trash bags, drops them by the front door because it's locked to keep them in, cleans up whatever mess was made, and continues cleaning everything up or goes on break depending on what his timer says. And when he's on his break, he pops a can of energy drink, works on cleaning up this pinball. And then supposedly Nicolas Cage completely improv'd the dance that he does when he's winning at the arcade, at the pinball machine, while the girl is literally fighting for her life. Because he's just like, he's about to kick the chameleon's butt, and his watch beeps, and he's like, hands her knife back, like, here, you're gonna need this. Peace out. And goes on break, and she's just like, what are you doing? Which I think is hilarious, because I really do. I love the fact that he treats the fact that he has to kill these friggin' animatronics like it's just a part of the job. I also think it's really annoying that the sheriff, like, sees that he has kicked the shit out of all of these animatronics. Like, literally, there's only, like, 2 of them left, maybe 1. Like, 2 or 3 of them left, and, like, all of the rest are dead, and she's like, he's gonna be so mad! No! I have to lock his hands up and make it to where he can't do anything! Like, she deserves what she gets. I hate saying that, but, like, she totally deserves what happens to her. But yeah, no. So, you know what? That's kind of the end of all I have to say. Spoilers are over. I will kind of, like, put, like, notations in the description so people know when it's safe to check back in if they want to see the final thoughts. So, my final thoughts on Willy's Wonderland. I think it is a fantastic movie. I think it's a great time. And I think it's something that I think it's like a classic in horror films. I think it's a great representation of the funny side of horror. I do think it has its flaws. Like I said, I don't think the teen characters were necessary. I honestly feel like the movie would have been better without them. I think they just exist for a body count. But the designs are really creative. The characters are pretty decent. And the pacing of the movie is fantastic. It's very good at keeping you engaged. So, check out Willy's Wonderland. If you like this video, like and subscribe. I do plan on doing more horror movie reviews again. If you haven't already, please check out, if you're in any way interested in herbalism, medicinally or magically, I do have a series right now called Magical Meditations with Maya Toll, where we're working our way through the illustrated herbiary by the author, Maya Toll, with her permission. They're short little, like, 5-minute videos. And if you'd like to check them out, let me know what you think of them. As always, I would love to hear your feedback. If you have any suggestions of movies that you think I should review, or content that you might like to see, I'd love to hear it. I post Magical Meditations. I try to post it every Wednesdays, and I'm gonna try and start posting horror movie reviews on either Friday or Saturday. But it might not work out that way. We'll have to see how it goes. So, until next time, have a great day, pleasant nightmares, and this is Grim, signing off.